Pins or Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, I should wear a little Johnny Carson face on mine, actually.
Well, I left one in your dressing room.
Yeah.
I've got it on all the different stages, too.
Now, wait. Now, let me ask you. You know, I saw you at the Improv, I guess about 6 months ago. You said, oh, I got this thing. I'm doing this movie, Roger Rabbit. And I'm wearing a costume all day. And then the movie comes out, and you're doing a voice. Why were you wearing a costume?
Well, I had to approach it not like a voice. I approached it like any acting part, and it was necessary to wear a costume for that reason. So Bob Hoskins, his reaction was the same as yours. First day, I come on a set with a rabbit. What you doing? Out of your mind? You're off camera. What are you wearing a rabbit suit for? You're off camera. But 2 weeks later, he thanked me because what we had to do was create a new style of acting. He had to act with empty space where Roger would be drawn.
Oh, I see.
I stood off camera wearing Roger's suit, just like he did, and watching whenever Bob did. So if he lifted Roger's ears, I'd have to react to that. So we created a new acting style.
A new acting style. Actually, we have a clip from the movie, so we should tell people
that would help.
Have no idea what we're talking about at this point.
Well, they will.
So let's see.
Let's run the clip.
This is Roger Rabbit.
Roger's been handcuffed.
Zipper, Daddy! That almost killed me! Ow! Boy, what is this? Some kind of a secret room?
It's a rot gut room. Holdover from Prohibition.
Oh, I get it. A speakeasy, a gin mill, a hooch parlor.
Tools are up here, Eddie.
Look at this! It's a spy hole! Zipper, Daddy, this would be a great place to hide! What's ahead?
I thought you said you'd never take another tool case. What'd you have, a change of arm?
Nothing's changed. Somebody's made a patsy out of me, and I'm gonna find out why. Hold still, will ya?
Does this help?
Yeah, thanks. Do you mean to tell me that you could have taken your hand out of that cuff at any time?
No, not at any time. Only when it was funny. Eddie, where's your sense of humor?
He always is funny, or only on days when he's wanted for murder?
Now, you know. See, I mean, I know you. And do you put a lot of your own inflection? I can see that some.
Well, Roger's the closest to me of any character I've ever played. As a comic.
Well, that's true, Albert.
It really is.
Yeah, that's certainly true.
A comic and a tune are a lot alike.
Yeah.
And playing a tune was different because you had to be non-human and yet still have human emotions. And also, I had to come up with a speech impediment because all great cartoons have speech impediments. So I came up with that. And
I never thought. Do all great cartoons? I guess they do.
They all do. So they actually film my face of, talking like Roger to the believe, so they could see how to actually animate that out.
And you had this costume on all day, boy.
I wore the costume all day. I was off camera. And the scene that comes after that, I was in a back room, and Roger is getting thrown into that room. He gets thrown into a bucket. And I was off camera, and they had puppeteers to maneuver the various props around where the animation would later be drawn in. So I'm standing behind this guy, and he yanks the bucket back, and I was directly behind him, and he contacted me in a sensitive area of my body. So I screamed and hit the floor, and the crew was going, wow, this guy's really good. He's really into it. And I didn't get up. It's going, he's really out of this guy.
I mean, it must be so strange to act and have that. I mean, obviously it all flows together so well, but not to have any idea what's it gonna look. I mean,
well, we knew what would be drawn in. It was all planned out. So I would just have to watch Bob. We got to a point where he could just improvise and we could work together.
When they do a film like that, do they shoot the film? I don't know nothing about it. Do they shoot a scene, expose it, someone comes, draws it in, and you see in the dailies, which are what you shot that day? Or do you do the whole film and then someone takes it and draws everything in later?
Yeah, the voice comes first, then they animate to the voice. That's why
the voice comes, really?
It's really important that the performance had to be there because that kind of is the blueprint for what the animators do. We were doing this in England at Elstree Studios, and that was where Superman 4 was being filmed. Yeah. And I was walking around on the lot with my rabbit suit on. And one of the guys...
Well, see, that's one of the great things.
On the set, the first day on the set, when I walked on my rabbit suit, everyone started laughing, because it's pretty silly. So I knew it was the right thing, plus it's good press. So I knew it was the right move. So this guy from Superman 4, he sees me, and I hear over a conversation later, he says, I don't think this rabbit movie is going to be very good. I saw the guy. He doesn't look anything like a rabbit.
Oh, that's very bad.
He doesn't look anything like a rabbit.
But that must have looked like a real studio. You know, see, one of my favorite things is when they show old movies in Hollywood and they show a studio, they have like a cowboy going this way, an Arab coming this way, you know, people in dashikis. You know, it must look very funny. You have Superman walking this way and the rabbit. Hi, Superman. Hi, Mr. Rabbit. Yeah. Now, this is a big budget picture. Right? What is this?
I think it was $80 or something.
No, but I mean,
it's well, all the money's on the screen. There's more artists involved in this than any project ever.
I mean, was it intimidating to you to work on such a big?
Well, I knew that if I didn't get it right, it wouldn't be good.
Well, everybody knows that.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It was very important too because the quality of the voice, everything had to be there. Otherwise, it would be a lot of trouble. And I was worried at first that if I forgot the voice, I'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
Like that scene right there. If he had gone, when I'm down on the stick, I'm ready to do it, and goes, only when it's funny. Oh, that's not it.
Only when it's funny.
Oh, that's not it.
Yeah.
Only when it's funny. But I have to remember to do the right voice only when it's funny.
I must be tough.
You see, Jay, the thing about Roger is you have to make a voice that sounds like it's coming out of a 3-foot rabbit.
You know, I'll bet your wife must have loved having you around the house while you're doing this movie. Now, I know.
A great time, and the kids enjoy it. My kids now are going around the house.
I know what a terrific dad you are, and your kids are great.
They're great.
Do they really they must think this is the most greatest thing in the world.
It's a big thing. After the film, they go out and they're telling everybody in the hall, my daddy's Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
And my little daughter's going, and they have the little dolls with the Roger talking, so I wake up and I hear myself going, how you doing, Dad?
Did you start, I know, as a comedian, obviously, I see what you do, but did you start out doing voices? Was it?
Well, I used to do voices when I was a little kid because
Yeah.
that's the key to doing different characters, the way
Right,
they
right.
sound. If you don't have makeup and you can't change. When I used to take showers, I used to think that if there were aliens watching the Earth, maybe they'd be watching me. Now, if they are, I'm going to give them a show. So I used to do a little shtick for the aliens. Now, if I'm wrong, big deal. But if I'm right, can you imagine?
If you're right. Oh, boy.
If I'm
Yeah.
What a payoff.
If you're right, you can read about the National Enquirer.
That's
I imagine.
it.
Yeah.
Plus, you get Zaholian crystals, you get free trips to Zahunda. I mean, the payoffs are unbelievable.
You know, it's right. Whenever you have comedians on, people always talk about who their influences are. And to most traditional stand-ups, of which you are not one, it's like Alan King or Jack Benny. I can't imagine who your influences are.
Oh,
I
well,
mean,
let's see. Jonathan Winters,
Well, yeah,
Groucho
I guess that's
Marx,
true.
Jimi Hendrix, Salvador Dali,
Jimi
Albert
Hendrix.
Einstein, Picasso,
Picasso.
MC Escher, Kandinsky.
But they never worked together as a group.
Well, that's where people don't understand. They did one show.
You know,
It was on cable.
on cable. Well, that's probably
It
why
was called The
nobody saw it.
Fleischer Influence, and it was a short show, and I taped it. I have it for you. On all formats, by the way.
And you invent musical instruments. You know, when I used to see you at the Improv,
That was my first act when I started.
you used to play like you used to play a hose. What was
I had
that
the
stupid-
tatunaphone, the
tatunaphone.
tutanophone. I had different musical instruments. Well, that stemmed from a time in my career where I used to play buildings as musical instruments.
Playing buildings as musical instruments.
I
Now,
think Jay said playing buildings as musical instruments.
How do
A
you
building-
travel with an
okay.
act like this?
Well, that's the beauty of it. You don't have to take your own instrument.
Well, how do you play I don't understand what you're talking
Okay, if you envision a building that's being built, unfinished, the conduit and pipes that run throughout the building are empty. So I could hook up my trumpet mouthpiece to the conduit and play the building like a giant trumpet. I played the Sears Tower in Chicago, the world's
Played the
tallest
Sears
building.
Tower. That's very prestigious.
I tell you, the world's tallest building, Jay, the world's tallest building. Then I wanted to play the Century City Twin Towers out here. I wanted to do dueling buildings, but they wouldn't buy it. And I tried to play the Alaska Pipeline. I wanted to play that, but they said no.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? I offered to play a pipeline, and they refused me. Talk about the indignancy that prevails on this world today. Why, I'm just kidding you, Jay.
Roger Rabbit, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back after this message. Congratulations.